Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, David Singh, scores the bout 114 to 113. John Mariano scores at 115 to 112. And Gloria Martinez scores the action 117 to 110. All three in favor of the winner. He is now the interim WBA World Welterweight title holder. And still undefeated, Gabriel, El Capitan Maestre.
How is that possible? Now, I try not to get upset by these things, but how is that even? Joe Goose, and I'm stunned it was 114, 113, and I thought that has to be in favor of Fox. How could it even be that close?
Brian,
you gotta be kidding me.
Brian, let me tell you, it's a long, short story, okay? And I've seen this before, and you've got the WBA here, Venezuelan fighter, and you can figure out the rest.
You know, but I know what you're saying, and you could be right. How else is it possible? Lennox, you've been part of some rip-offs. That looks like a terrible decision.
Oh, that was a terrible decision. I was actually shocked. And, Michael Fox came into the fight much improved, better fighter, doing the right things. And I'm just shocked that they never gave it to him.
And what, one judge had it 117, 110, and he got knocked down. Yeah, Maestre got knocked down. They can't get rid of that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there's your winner, Michael Fox. I'm sorry. And look, I try not to get outraged on these things. We've all seen these things before. Lennox and Evander Holyfield, we've seen bad decisions. We try to be very understanding. Marcos Villegas gave him one round, gave Maestre one round, and Marcos is usually dead on. Marcos is a very good judge, and he gave him one round, and one of those judges must have given him every round but the round he got dropped in.
Horrible.
Oh, my. How is it?
Yo, what's good, man? Man, we witnessed some real corruption in the boxing game over the weekend. We just watched like one of the biggest robberies in history. In the history, I tell you. I'm talking about this was a worse decision than Holyfield, Lennox Lewis first fight. It's a worse decision than Canelo getting a draw for the Mayweather fight from one judge. This is one of the worst I've ever seen, or even heard of. How the fuck do you win every round and lose the fight? Mykal Fox and Gabriel Maestre had laced it up on the Fox card PBC on Saturday, and Maestre, whichever way you say his name, he's an Olympic gold medalist from Venezuela, a two-time Olympian, and he's like kind of on the Lomachenko path where they kind of fast track you because he spent a lot of time in the Olympics and won medals and stuff, so they giving him opportunities early. And Gabriel Maestre, he got knocked down in the second round, and he couldn't deal with the reach and the athleticism and the fighting from outside of John Fox, as he clearly didn't even win 2 rounds. I think I gave him 1, but I don't even think he won 2. And the sad thing about it is, all 3 of the judges were in on it. It was a unanimous decision. With one of the cards, 117, 110. That's like 9-3 for Maestre. I don't see how you see some shit like that. The other 2 were 114, 113, and 115, 112. And Fox, he knew he got robbed when they was announcing the winner. They didn't even have to say Maestre's name. They had to say the undefeated. And Fox knew that he was coming off a loss, so he knew who they was talking about. Fox really, his face really started cringing when they announced that 114, 113 card. That's when he knew something was wrong. And even before the fight, there was a glove controversy with this dude, Maestre, bro. Illegal glove taping before the main event. When Maestre and Fox came to the center of the ring for the ref's instruction, Fox's father and trainer, Troy Fox, pointed out that the tape on the outside of Maestre's gloves was too high. Referee Mark Nelson immediately jumped into action. Nelson went into Maestre's corner and questioned who signed off on Maestre's gloves. He forced Maestre to remove the tape that revealed that the glove laces were placed high up on the wrist of the gloves. Joe Goosen pointed it out as an illegal tape job and called it skinning the glove. The idea is to pull the laces tight and high on the wrist to bring the top of the gloves closer to the knuckles inside. And then Maestre's gloves were corrected and retaped, and then they proceeded on to the ass whooping. Now, behind the scenes, one of the judges, Gloria Hernandez, she is actually married to a WBA executive, Richard Rizzo. Gloria Hernandez, she deleted her Twitter account because she was getting exposed on the internet as a racist, sending shots at Michelle Obama, and she trolled Black Lives Matters posts and talked shit about LeBron James. And she said the election when Joe Biden won over Donald Trump just now, she said that was rigged, and it's exposed her true colors. And then today she deleted the Twitter account. The WBA is going to be under investigation. They were called out on Twitter by promoter Lou DiBella, who say an investigation needs to be done. They were even called out by Al Bernstein, who's been around the boxing game for longer than most people been alive. He's been a boxing analyst on Showtime since 2003. He's Channel 5's main boxing analyst. He served as a boxing analyst on NBC coverage of the Olympic Games in 1992, and he joined as an analyst for ESPN in 1980. So he has a long track record, and when he smelled foul, he just calling it down the middle. There's just a bunch of shit going on last night. Mykal Fox was brought in to lose no matter what. And if he had knocked out Maestre, it would have been called back and called a DQ. If it's any time you ever felt like the scorecards was written before the fight, this is the time. And the one thing about that venue is called the Armory. It's the Armory in Minneapolis. And a lot of people know the corruption that goes on at the Armory. And this isn't all just the WBA who's crooked on this. It isn't just Gloria Hernandez. Everybody needs to be held accountable. John Mariano and Danal Singh was also judging with Gloria Hernandez. Now the Armory, the owner of the Armory funds Warriors Boxing. Ned Abdul is sponsoring fighters, but Ned Abdul bought the Armory for $6 million. So if you put 2 and 2 together, it was just a setup for Mykal Fox, because you ain't gonna be able to go into the Armory and beat one of their fighters when the promoter owns everything in here. He can easily rig the fight. And there's rumored to be a few Cuban fighters being fast-tracked to title shots that are about 3-0, 4-0 right now in the WBA rankings. And the WBA, they're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the pressure from the public, and they set up an immediate rematch. If I'm Mykal Fox, I would not want that rematch. Anything can happen in boxing. It doesn't mean he would be able to duplicate that performance. What if he has an injury leading up to the fight? What if he gets injured in the fight? There's too much risk there. I would go the route to try to sue the WBA or try to sue whoever I can in this situation to get the win on my record, or a huge payday, because robbing this man of this fight is robbing him of the next opportunity where he would have got paid way more than what he did for this fight. And the judges will be publicly interviewed about this situation as well. It was just too much corruption. The WBA official was seen in Maestro's corner as well, said by Marcos Villegas, who is a fighter. And even the PBC commentators, they couldn't even act biased and act like the man won. Oh yeah, and one of them Cuban fighters that I say being fast tracked right now is David Morrell. And he won his belt in the Armory, and he said he loves the Army and wants to continue fighting in the Armory. But he's really talented though. But this is just a corrupt system. And if you don't think corrupt things happen in sports, there's something wrong with you, man. And hopefully you learn this before you lose a huge amount of money on a bet before you realize.